there was kind of a run for a record label. Why did you pick Parlophone?
There was a lot of people I met and they were all amazing, but I think Parlophone, it just felt right. Like everyone was great. All these labels do good jobs, otherwise they wouldn't exist. So I think for me it was just a gut feeling. But they've been great. They really understood my music, and they really understood everything that I wanted and understood. And because I built everything up myself, I'd done it all myself, that they couldn't really say, tell me to do anything different, and they didn't want me to be any different than how I just was. So that was kind of why I went with them.
Okay, well, was that what you wanted? Because you mentioned they understood what you wanted. What was what you wanted?
They just wanted me to be me. So yeah, that's why I went with them. They just completely understood me as an artist.
And well, what I'm trying to get at is what did you want from your music then?
Well, the thing is, because I already had my own little label, that was an indie label anyway, the only point of signing to a major label was because a major label would make a difference. There was no point signing to an indie label because I had one already. So yeah, they really could take everything to the next level. They've been able to kind of fund things I couldn't do on my own. For example, I had orchestras and string sections on my album, and I was able to go to America and shoot a music video, which I've always wanted to do. I kind of wanted to go to a certain part of America, but I obviously couldn't fund that myself. So yeah, they kind of really backed all my ideas.
Well, a lot of some of the songs on the record you've written quite a while ago. What was it like to revisit those songs and with the backing, the financial backing that you just mentioned?
Well, it was, the way I've revisited them is what I wanted them to be in the first place, but obviously I didn't have the resources to do so. So it was just, I was very excited. I knew exactly what I wanted to do for years. So yeah, it was just great to finally go in and just finally do it how I really wanted them in the first place.
And did they turn out the way you wanted them?
Yeah, exactly how I wanted them, which is great.
Okay, and even to go even further back, how do you look after completing the album? How do you look back at the first videos you put online?
I don't really tend to look back at them because for me, I know that I've improved, but I think they're a really important part of my history of what I've done, and I think it's important to leave them there. They're almost like a timeline and a diary, and I think it's really cool to see all these progressions.
But why don't you like to look back at them then?
Because I know my new ones are better. Yeah, I think people, like my fans still really enjoy them, and I still get people like tweeting me every day telling me that they're listening to an old video I put up a few years ago, which is really sweet. So I don't think I'll ever delete them.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the honesty, that it is quite important to you. You said you wrote, most of the lyrics are autobiographical. I wrote some down. Okay. For instance, the song November, it says, I left you out in the English rain to soak you through and dilute the blame. Was this song written with a specific person in mind?
No, not a specific person. It was, that one actually started off as a poem. I had the line, I left you out in the English rain. I just really liked it. I'm really into Leonard Cohen and T.S. Eliot. They're two of my favourite writers. So, yeah, I just had that one line and I didn't know what it meant or what it was going to be about. And yeah, I went in, I wrote it with a guy called Luke Potashnik, who I've done a lot of work with, and I went in with it, and he said that he's kind of got all this, it's just the imagery he got from it, and we wrote it like a story.
Well, what was the story about then? What were you?
It was more the imagery. It was more about he had the idea of calling a song November. So we kind of put the two together, and it was more about kind of having a really good time at a certain point in your life, and it just happened to be in November. Someone, like a bad event happening, whether it's a boyfriend or you falling out with a friend or anything, and then that kind of time of year being ruined for you from then on.
Have you had a time of year ruined for you?
Maybe when I was younger I probably thought I did, but no, not anymore.
Can you give me an example of when you were younger?
Well, maybe not times, but there's been times where I've listened to a song and then something bad's happened and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to listen to that song again, but you get over it and you're fine and you start enjoying the things that you thought you wouldn't enjoy anymore.
Well, then another song is Human. I wrote down, show me that you're human, and then it goes, because we're all broken, love your flaws and live for your mistakes.
Yeah.
I was wondering, who, or is it a particular person it's directed at, or is it at yourself as well?
I mean, it's not really directed at myself. I think I kind of fell into a place where I'm very happy with myself. I know everyone has things they want to change, but you just kind of have to get over it and just live, and I'm just over it. But I had a friend who was very insecure and just kind of hated herself, so yeah, I kind of wrote it about that, but it's quite universal as well.
Does that person know you wrote?
Yeah, she's
what did she think?
She's really happy about it. Yeah, it's good.
And well, you mentioned things that where does this mentality come from, that you don't obsess about those little things and that you kind of know who you are?
I think it's just because of my upbringing. My mum's very, very humble and down to earth. So like, she's never worn makeup ever. Like, it's just, yeah, they're just kind of themselves, and I think they're so happy, and they don't really have much at all. So I think it's just, yeah, they're very happy with what they've got. And I think maybe when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to look like this, I want to be like that, I want to be thinner, I want to be taller, but you realise you can't actually do that. You can't just magically make yourself taller, and it's just, you just kind of get over the things you can't change.
Okay. Was it difficult to do that? Or?
No, for me it wasn't. I think for some people it's probably very hard, but with the way I've grown up and the people that are around me now, it's very easy. Okay.
Well, you mentioned honesty. You're also very honest towards your fans. Why are the fans so important to you?
I think there's nothing more important than the music you make and then the fans you have that love your music. I think if you don't have fans, then what are you going to do? Like, you can't. You've got to really look after them. And they are people, and they kind of treat you like you're one of their friends, and you really have to respect them, I think. And like they're the ones buying my music and coming to my shows and really supporting me. You can't ignore them, I don't think.
Is it because you also comment on Facebook and Twitter, and it's actually you, which is quite
I think that's very important. I think you know, some artists are probably so busy they can't do it, or some artists just don't like Twitter or whatever. I don't know why, but I just think it's very important to kind of just take 5 minutes out of your day to say hi to them and say thank you.
Is this something that carried over from where you started out on YouTube,
maybe.
which is kind of a social media?
Yeah, I think maybe because my first kind of interaction was with fans as opposed to a label. I think I have like a loyalty to them.
And as you mentioned, do you imagine this will continue, or as you become busier, as new opportunities arise, do you think it will? I think get harder.
Well, it's very hard to reply to each person, but you kind of, I think, no matter how busy you are, you have 5 minutes a day to go and say hi and thank you to someone. So it only takes a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.